This is Kreskin, and yes, you know me as the Amazing Kreskin. I wanted to comment on something that's been part of my life and goes way back in experiences that I've had, and I thought you'd find this intriguing because when I was a kid, and then a few years later, there was a great popularity about people who'd seen UFOs. We call them flying saucers. There were cartoons done on them. There were movies done on flying saucers, outer space travel, and so forth. And I got to talk to professional people more about UFOs because I had an unusual benefit early in my career through the years, which is not done today because of legal situations and security and what have you. But in traveling, because I've flown some 3.5 million miles, I was very often in the past asked to join the pilots in the cockpits. And gosh, some of them I must have gone on 30, 40, 50 different flights when I'd be coming through, working in a town, and their plan was going to that area. So they come and have me sit down in the next to the pilot and discuss what was going on. And they commented, everybody was calling them flying saucers then, UFO was more technological, but even Arthur Godfrey, who was an avid pilot, said to me how he described incidents where he says, Kreskin, I'm flying through the sky and something's next to the plane, not that close, but he said I couldn't describe what it was. And he was given permission to fly almost any legal vehicle because he had done so much for the airline industry. So the years went by, and now we have a different climate. Now we have the investigation, major investigation of UFOs, but not because of the unusual idea that there may be outer space and what have you, but because of a disaster that's consuming a tremendous amount of the Western world as well as other parts of the world. And as you probably know it because you've seen the news, there's no answer. They can't find a solution. And that is that thousands upon thousands of animals are being murdered cruelly and strangely all over the place. If you've seen the news, some are found without any eyes, some are found without any sexual organs, some are found without any throats or what have you, stomach completely wiped away, and it's one of the most unsolvable incidents taking place around the world today. And farmers and others are very much concerned about this because they love the animal world and the contribution that the animals have made to our climate and the world itself is unmistakable. They have not come through with any solution, but one of the theories in recent months, because of hundreds and hundreds of reports they have and the findings that farmers and pilots find when they land in strange areas and see these animals decapitated, dethroned, arms removed, throats removed, and what have you. One of the theories is, could this be from outer space? Could this be an intelligence from outer space? There's no indication as yet. Even when I was a kid, there was really no hardcore evidence of a UFO or a flying saucer. They found occasionally things that seemed slightly strange, but not that much attention was paid to it. But I think now there needs to be, on the part of those of you who are students, those of you who are investigators, a concerted effort to investigate more thoroughly than ever before what is going on. Because the bottom line is this, and the reason I'm taking so much time to cover this is something which could affect many of our lives, and that is, if it is a UFO, if it is an identified flying object, or if it is a flying saucer occupant, then there is intelligence out there far beyond what we are familiar with. But there could be a plus, and this is the kind of thing that when you sit down with friends or at college or you're going out to eat, something to weigh. If this is the intelligence of outer space, of a UFO inhabitant and what have you, then how come they haven't done any other kinds of harm to our culture? And why, of all things, is it the animal world, which is certainly a world that we must, and rightfully must, socialize and share? It's something to think about. And you know what I wonder? I predict this. I don't know why, but I wonder about this. I wonder if 5, 6 years from now, we will still not have the solution to what is happening. To be continued.